Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I was just getting ready. We're leaving for the national championship, the American Crappie Trail National Championship Friday. Practice starts Saturday and goes through Wednesday of next week. Got a 3-day tournament, cut down, all that stuff. So we're packing, getting everything ready to go. And I thought about it. I said, man, it's springtime. Spawn's on us, pre-spawn's on us. It's going to be some dirty water. It's going to be some clear water. Just gonna go through a few baits to help y'all pick, in some of them dirty water situations, a little muddy, dingy water, or even the clear water. This is what we use day in, day out. Just depends on the circumstances and the water conditions, but I'll get on with the show. First of all, if you're in clear water, there's one bait. That's what there's actually two. There's one plastic, I'll put it that way. Just a little baby fry, you can see it right there. I like Smoke Show, that's my baby. I'll just pair that with like a, like a little 16th or a 32nd, just straight jig head. Most time I'll just use gray if it's in clear water, just lead head color. That, or sometimes I'll use a little hair jig. Like that right there. If they're really finicky, just use a little hair jig, that's all that is. I use different colors. I tie a lot of them myself. Most of them I do tie myself. Every once in a while, a little bit bigger profile, I use the Warbirds. But that's my two when the water, you've got good conditions. The water's clear and there's good visibility, more than 6 inches, and more than 8 inches. Good water. Second is dirty water, a little more stained, a little dingy, muddy, springtime, got runoff, a lot of rain this time of year, just the water ain't near as clear. That's what you contend with a lot, especially down here where I'm from, Tennessee, Mississippi, which really all over. I mean, just anytime you have runoff, you're gonna have dirty, muddy water. When I do that, first thing I'll do is I'll just try a little brighter color. I'll try a jig head, that's a brighter colored jig head, like a chartreuse or a hot orange or a pink, something like that, just to give it a little more contrast color. Then I'll use like an orange and chartreuse, or I'll use a black and chartreuse, purple, anything to contrast color, because in that muddy water, they can't see as good. But if you've got, just say, a dark bait in a muddy water, it'll contrast out and they'll be able to pinpoint where your bait is a lot easier. A lot of times people will put a little scent on it also in dirty water just to help draw the fish and attract, say, hey, here I am, come get you a little of it. They'll put, crappie nibbles, just any of the slab bites, just whatever you prefer. A lot of people will put scent on them. Or tip it with a minnow, and that's another thing. And this is also what I'll use a lot of times when I'm tipping with a minnow. It's a little fringe fry here, and it's got the flutes in it to where you can get the action, kind of like old mermaids is, but it's also got the tube jig umbrella style tail. And you can slide a minnow and he'll fit perp clip in there. That's what I tip with, in dirty water. And plus, it's a bigger profile bait, and that's why I like using this in dirtier water. Not necessarily this color, I just grab one. A lot of times I'll use it in this color. We call that the Captain Coleman or the Outlaw. There's a lot of different lime green chartreuse. I'll use this bait, this fringe fry, in a brighter color and muddier water, because one, it is a larger bait, bigger profile. The fish will be able to see it better. And a lot of times, this time of year, I'll tip it with a jig, because them fish are feeding up. It's pre-spawn. They're ready to eat. That way they can get their spawning over with. And because when they start spawning stuff, they'll go through a funk and they won't eat real good. And that uses a lot of energy when they go to spawning, and females do. So they try to feed up good before the spawn, actually. During the pre-spawn, that's when everybody likes to fish. That's when their fish are really feeding. A lot of times, especially in dirty water, you can get by with a lot bigger bait. Just like this right here. And I'll show you, this is another one when the water temperature does get up there. When it gets above 50, I'll start trying with these. When it's dirty water, it's just a curly fry. It's just a curl tail jig. I'll start using this, and if it's real dirty water, I'll pair this with a fluorescent orange head or a pink head or something, to contrast the color. But this curl tail's got more thump, more vibration, and I call it the old thumper, what I call them. You ever hear me say, what'd you catch them on? You hear me say, I called them on the thumper? Well, this is the thumper right here. Just a curl tail jig. It's nothing special about it. Just and the thing I like about these is they will swim at a pretty slow motion. I mean, a lot of these curl tail jigs you can get, you've got to really burn them to get the action out of the tail, but not this one. And it's also got the flutes in it, kind of like our Little Mermaid, stuff like it does. It's got the flutes in it to help give it more action. But I just like using this right here. I like using a curl tail jig whenever the water's good and dirty and muddy and stuff, and they need a little more vibration to where they can find the bait. When they're active, you know, anything above 50, you can. Every once in a while, you'll catch some real active fish, you know, below 50 with this. Most time, water needs to be on up there above 50 before they'll really start eating these good, something moving real good. They're, you know, less lethargic. That's when I'll start throwing this old curl tail, the old thumper, I like to call it, in muddy water, you know, dirty water, dingy water. I'll even throw it, I'll go to maybe a monkey milk color or a dirty milk. That color right there in a thumper, even in clear water. If the fish are really aggressive and they're eating good, then I'll throw this thumper just because it's a bigger profile and it's a moving bait. And generally, I can put it on a little bit bigger jig head and cover water a lot quicker. You know, I can cast it out there to them and bring it back to them and get a lot more bites, put it in front of a lot more fish quicker. And also, a lot of people cast the banks. You know, you find you a pea gravel bank where them fish are spawning on that pea gravel. A lot of people will cast these up, and I'll do it too, you know, just out fun fishing up on Kentucky Lake. We got a lot of pea gravel banks. You can put this on a little 16th ounce head, fire it up around the bank, and just slowly bring it back to you, and you'll catch a ton of fish that way, you know, during the spawn when them fish are on the bed. Another thing you can use in dirty water to give it a little more vibration is a bladed, something with blades on it, you know, like your slashers with the blades, road runners. Something just to give it more flash and more. This Colorado blade actually gives it more thump. It's for more vibration and sound. Fish can attract to, you know, they'll attract to it a lot better. They can find it in that real dirty, like Grenada. I mean, it gets like chocolate milk down there. Everybody knows how dirty it is. And I've caught a lot of fish, you know, on these old spinners, I call them, old jig spinners, you know, road runner, slashers, anything with a blade and dirty water, I like it. I will use it in the summertime too, some, but I'll use the willow leaf bladed ones, or I'll add a willow leaf to this, take this and I'll put a willow leaf on. Just gives it a smaller profile to where it ain't near as bright in clear water. But these right here, bladed jigs, are a good option in muddy water, when the water, you know, Grenada, when it's chocolate milk. And plus, I mean, if the fish are really aggressive, you can get by with these rascals all the time. We used to pull these up on Kentucky Lake. We'd fire them out there and bounce them across the bottom in old stumps. They'd eat them. But that's generally what that's for. That big Colorado blade right there, that wider blade gives it more vibration and more thump when it's coming through the water. Fish can find it. Also, another thing, this is kind of a sleeper, a sneaker that I like using, is the one-eye wiggler. And that's just, it's a bill on it, and it really, it runs a lot like a crankbait. You put a plastic on there, you can tip it with a minnow. You can do so much with this bait. A lot of times I'll just put a straight minnow on there, and that little plastic piece right, see if you can see it right here, it just kind of acts like a crankbait, really and truly. You can cast it out there, you can troll these, and it'll go through the water just like a crankbait, just like this right here. A lot of people call them scroungers in the bass world. The bass guys have been chunking these things for a long time. I think they originated on the Tennessee River system, Kentucky Lake and stuff. They use these, they're called scroungers to the bass term. This is a one-eye wiggler right here. And I like these just to give them something different, you know, other than a road runner or slasher or whatever. That's when I'll throw them. That's kind of my sneak hole. It ain't got near as much flash. It's kind of more subtle, but it's still putting off the vibration in the dirty water. That way you can see it better. The fish can see it a lot better. They can sense it. They know it's there. They'll come eat it. Put you a minnow on there that gives you scent. Plus this right here gives you more action. They can find it. They got live bait there. And everything's good to go. And they're going to be eating that rascal. I've caught a blue jelly. And we used to troll these. We put these on if we was in shallow water. We put the larger size on and we just troll straight wigglers. And if we're in a little bit deeper water, we'll put us, you know, a half or 3/4 weight above it and just troll these spider rig out the front's what I mean by troll, spider rig, push. That's what we would do with them. But yeah, that's the other one that it's kind of one of them hidden gems. Though I call it the one-eye wiggle jack, what I call her. But it's a really good bait when the water's dirty. But that's really just a rundown of the baits that I use this time of year, and I'll start out. It just really depends on the water conditions. If you get there, your water's dirty, muddy, you want to go to a brighter color, you know, like your chartreuses, your hot orange, pink, just contrasting colors that'll really pop, and the fish can key in on them. Your bigger baits, you want to use your bigger size baits in that dirtier water. There's a couple different styles right there. Bigger baits, bigger profile to where they can see it, you know, and pair that with a brighter head and maybe a different contrasting color body, like a darker body, and get a better profile, tip it with a minnow. But that's really how I start out, you know, on a new body of water. When I first get there, like we're going to Alabama River, I had never been there, so I start out, you know, I look at the water conditions. If the water's dirty, I'll start out with old Thumper. I put him on a hot orange, just an old slasher jig head, about a 16th or an 8th, depending on the depth, and start firing with them. If you get in cleaner water, you know, you might want to downsize a little bit. Get in cleaner water, you might want to use the old Smoke Show or whatever. I really like this color. I know I talk a lot about it, but I really, really love this bait right here. That's one of my favorite colors it is. But I'll use a smaller profile on that. But really and truly, that's the whole rundown on jig selections, you know. Just contrasting colors in that dirtier water. Use your contrast and use a bigger profile. That way the fish are more, they can see it. They'll know where it's at in the water. You know, you don't miss them bites. You put your little scent on there, you know, a nibble. Put you in little crappie bites. I think it's some of that sauce you can put on there, that old jelly type stuff. I don't use a lot of that just because it's so deadgum messy and I'll destroy my boat. Even worse that it already is destroyed. It's another thing I got to get to cleaning. But yeah, that's just a few tips on helping pick the right jigs for the water clarity, especially right now in this pre-spawn, late winter, early spring. This time of year is when it really is effective to, you know, to upsize to where the fish can see that bait. But anyway, y'all keep an eye out for us. Keep watching. I appreciate all the subscriptions. If y'all hadn't already, like and subscribe. We're going to have more videos. Next week's National Championship Week, I'm going to try and get a good tournament video, a vlog they call it, out of that. I tried to do one at Gunnersville, but the conditions was so horrible. All my equipment was cold, and I couldn't move. It was so cold, and it was windy, and it was just bad conditions. So I kind of scratched the Gunnersville vlog. But next week, the ACT vlog, I will get that to y'all. But yeah, any other questions, y'all just put them down in the comments. Ask me, I'll get right back to you. I promise you. I look at all of them, I read them all, and I'll give you the best answer I know of. And if you got any more advice or any tips, let me know. Shoot me, give me a nugget. But anyway, I sure do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go in, like, subscribe, hit that little bell up there, and we'll get back to you probably next week sometime. We're going to be filming and all that good stuff. Sure appreciate y'all. Thank you.